What I'll need the audience to understand is the reason I'm so stunned is because you're doing this by yourself.
Yeah.
As a stay-at-home mom
With
with,
a
if I
year.
heard it right, a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Yes.
All of those young children require a lot of time and
Yeah.
a wife. So I just learned the reason you're such an amazing mom is because you were raised by a single dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, you don't even know that I'm really holding back my tears right now.
Don't,
You know I'm a
don't,
crier, Nayetta. You know I am a crier.
don't,
You
don't.
I am trying. You are remarkable.
That is the driver behind me being an amazing mom.
I know, because I have a similar situation. Like I know.
Don't crash the ring.
I'm trying, but it's
Okay.
all It's a little too late. You got me in tears, Nayetta.
And the particular part, the splash pad had been off for like 4 years. So
Oh, wow.
me,
Wait,
it's
how did you know it was even gonna work?
I didn't.
Nayetta, can we just stop this, please? Just stop this
I
right
didn't know
now.
it was gonna
Oh, hold
work
on,
this
hold on.
year.
I mean, this actually sounds ridiculous.
Now that we're talking about it,
It
it
sounds
does.
ridiculous.
Take 100.
All right, we're live. Good morning, everyone. This is Shireen Simon. This is another episode of Voices and Vibes. And I am here with my girl, my sister, and my accountability sister, Nayetta Holyfield.
Hi.
Hey, so if you remember, Nayetta has been with us before. She was on episode 9. We talked about the importance of play-based learning.
So it's purposeful play and purposeful learning. So you have your learning goals to go align with what your kid needs, to learn. So
She is the Activity Playhouse, the mom playologist, the experts with youngins.
yes.
Nayetta, please let the audience know a little bit more about your brand. Remind them and let the new people know.
Well, first, thank you for having me back.
Oh, thank you for gracing us with your smile and your time.
Thank you. So, I'm Nayetta, the founder and owner of the Activity Playhouse, where we help teach stay-at-home moms or just moms in general, whether you work from home. If you have a little one under 5, we help show you how to educate your little ones at home so that you can avoid this education crisis of kids not knowing how to read and being unprepared for kindergarten. And we do that in a fun and engaging way using our playful framework.
So, Nayetta, today we're talking about a recent event that you've put on, and this is the second time, and that is I forgot the name of the event.
It's the stamps. Oh, I forgot myself. Sorry. I got tongue tied. Annual Summer Fun Fest event. So yes, this is our second year doing it and hosting it in McDonough, Georgia.
The Summer Fun Fest. So, what does the summer, I mean, besides it sound like it's a lot of fun, what does the Summer Fun Fest entail?
So the Summer Fun Fest is a way for the kids to decompress after a rough school year. They come and have fun, and it's also a way to encourage the parents to get outside and play with their little ones and connect. And then the third thing of what brought it about is some kids don't get that vacation or have that fun summer. So when they get back to school, they don't have anything to share. A lot of teachers
Right.
ask things for them to share. So the Summer Fun Fest is a way to give back, to give those kids something to share about, and a fun way to start their summer, whether it's the only thing they do or the first thing that they do. So that's how the Summer Fun Fest was brought about.
That's actually really smart. And I don't think you've ever told us that before.
No.
No, I don't think you've ever told us that before. Um, That's actually really smart because you are right. When the kids go back to school, that's the first thing the teachers ask about. What'd you do this summer? I'm
Hold
in
on,
your mom,
Serena.
baby. Your mom. It's good.
Okay.
He's like,
Real life.
why are we still talking? Yeah, no, I really like that. And so what made you decide to do this? Because like when you started this is your second year, so you started it last year. So
Mhm.
what invoked the idea and how old were your kids?
So last year, they were 3, 6, and 10 when I thought about it. And I thought about it off the whim, less than 30 days to prepare. I think it was May 4th. I submitted the permit and the event was June 4th. So,
Wow.
exactly 30 days. Yes. But it came about because there were nothing for kids to do in McDonough, Georgia. And I knew that I was moving to North Carolina. One second, big guy. So I wanted to leave a mark and kind of set the foundation of what the county is supposed to look like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things were catered to the older crowd and the senior citizens because it is a retirement town. So I want to paint the picture of what it looks like to have a family fun event in our county, and to let them know that the kids do not know how to have fun in a safe way, and give the parents, my audience, give them ideas on what to do with their kids since I would no longer be in the area. So
Right.
that was what the first year was about.
And with a month to plan, like, no, because honestly, girl, didn't you feel the pressure? Now I understand when you talk about the pressure that your family felt the first year, a month. Did there was no doubt that you could do this within a month, or were you like, I'm gonna just do whatever I can do and we're gonna have a good time?
So there was no time for doubt because when the idea came about,
Yeah.
it was like, let's just go, 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 go. Like there was no time because I didn't really think it all the way through. So when you think of an idea, you have time for doubt and things like that. Time for that because I thought about it and it was just go, 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 get this done.
Yeah.
Okay, big. Sorry, Shereen. Hold on.
No,
Big eye. Go to
he's still tired.
side.
No,
He
don't apologize at all. He still looks tired.
got it. Okay.
And
All right.
this is the reality of parenting. So,
Yes,
um,
I don't know if you want to edit this part out
oh
or
no,
not.
I'll edit out a little bit, but he's there and it's okay. And that's the reality of parenting. So, especially with
Yes.
a young one, right? Um, Nayetta, I don't want to call you crazy, but a month before is crazy.
When people found out, they were like, "Oh my God." And then like my vendors, they were like, "This is your first event." And then like I had to, meet with the mayor and stuff like that because she's like, initially I said like 100, like we have to do a permit. So initially I was like, 100, 200 people. And then by the time I met with her, because the city, like nothing like this had kind of been done for kids,
Okay.
especially at the particular park that I picked in McDonough. So there were a lot of hesitation from the mayor, the chief of police. Like I had to meet with all of them on the Zoom call. Like, what are your safety precautions? You told us 1 to 200 people, and you're saying like over 1,000 people registered. Like, you're gonna have a bounce house. You need an insurance policy. So it was a lot of red tape, so to speak, that I didn't know about.
Right.
But it worked out.
Whoa, so holy smokes, hold on. I love this. This is why being a podcaster is so much fun because you have never told us this part. And we are accountability sisters. You've never said you told the mayor, because of course you're not certain, it's your first time doing it, 100 people. But how did you get 1,000 people to register within a very short time frame? Your marketing must have been like on point.
I would I would say yes and no. And it's hard for me to explain this. And I know people are gonna be like, okay, that's so cliche, but like God worked it out. He worked it
Yeah, you're
out.
right. That's so cliche, girl.
It- Because so my mark, I will tell you what I did, but I can't tell you like, hey, do this to get 1,000 people
Mhm.
into the event, right?
Right.
So I put it on Eventbrite.
Okay.
I did $10 ads with Eventbrite. I made a event on Facebook,
Okay.
and I promote it. Like if you're in a Facebook group and they have days where you can promote for free and stuff, if it was local, I was putting my flyer out there. That was all I did.
Okay. Because I have a summer camp in 2 weeks. And I sent you a screenshot of what Eventbrite said to me on day one. They said, "You're doing a great job. You got 0 people to look at your event." I was like, "Okay, you're
Promote,
sarcasm."
promote, promote. Eventbrite, I don't know. Eventbrite helped out a lot, but like I said, nothing like that has really been done in that area. So that
Right.
was probably the spike as well. Like, oh my God, it's finally something to do in this area. We don't
Yeah.
have to drive 30 minutes to Atlanta. So
Yeah, yeah. Good on you. Good on you. And I like that you um, identified it for also your kids, right? So yes, you're leaving
yes,
your mark, but I have to say the intention behind it was actually quite admirable, Nayera. Like
thank you.
everything that you just said to get it started, and you had 1 month, and so now you're advertising it, and you're getting through the red tape, and you're
Yes.
getting the hesitation, but you're still advertising. How many, if you recall, approximately how many vendors did you have? How many different events did you have? Like playstations.
So I had 10 vendors. And last year, the vendors did not do any activities. They were just vendors. And then we had a big bounce house for the big kids. We had the smaller bounce house in the indoor type play area for the little kids. We had a magic show. We had sand art. Of course, it's a park, so there's a splash pad and a playground. And then we had the gaming truck.
Girl, that is a lot.
It's
That
a
is
huge
no,
park.
it's really I'm kind of stunned, as you can see. I'm lost for words. That is a lot. And so what I'll need the audience to understand is the reason I'm so stunned is because you're doing this by yourself.
Ah, yeah.
As a stay-at-home mom
With
with,
their
if I
years.
heard it right, a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Yes.
All of those young children require a lot of time and
Yes.
a wife. So, okay,
Yes.
so what does this look like? And a person, because there's
Yes.
time that you require for yourself. So what does this look like for you? Because 30 days to get all this done, and you did a lot. What does this
Hold
look
on,
like
baby.
for like your time management and your energy?
It was so last year it wasn't as chaotic because it was like a adrenaline rush type thing. So I was just going, 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 going. You okay? Yeah. Okay. This year,
Hi, big guy.
you say hey to Michelle. Okay.
Good morning.
Uh,
Hi, later.
okay, go ahead and walk in there. Mm. Go ahead and walk in there. You can come back in here, okay?
No, it's okay. Yeah, so
Okay.
you're saying your energy
Um,
and your time. Yeah, how does that look?
so my energy, it was really an adrenaline rush. Like, I didn't understand all the stuff that I was doing. I was just really just head down doing it. I got to get this done, this done, this done, reach out to this business. And honestly, the morning meetup kind of helped as well because, we're going to meet up and David was planning the podcast summit. So I was also in the
Mhm.
environment of we need to get this done for this event to happen successfully. So
Okay.
that kind of helped keep my adrenaline going on what I needed to do. And I
Right.
remember when I told him in the community that I was doing it, they said to make like 10 calls a day to different businesses, reach out to different businesses for sponsorship.
Okay.
And so even though I did that, And I got a lot of no's. I got a ton of no's. That kept my adrenaline going of you're gonna make this event happen because I got so many no's and the mayor hesitating on the amount of people and it being my first event and just hearing like the naysayers a little bit in the town, like, we don't really do things like that.
We don't do
And the
things
risk.
like kids here.
Yeah.
Do that in your house.
So
There's a park. What else do you do? We don't do those things for kids. You have a backyard, don't you?
I mean, so it's like we don't do those big events because people don't come or that's an unsafe park. It's a lot of activity at that park. So it that was the push for me because me hearing it's a lot of activity and I'm from like the city of Atlanta. This ain't no activity.
Yeah. What you talking about? You know where I'm from? You don't know what goes on in my hood.
This right. This is not activity, but okay. So
We
it
just
was just
clean up the needles. We good.
we just got to pick up a little bit of trash, tell a
Sweep
little
that up.
2 or 3 homeless people that, come back when the event is over and that's it.
Because I was going to ask you if the park had activity, and activity we're just meaning like displaced people, right? And we know what might come with that, what most likely comes with that. Um, why would you pick that park?
Because it's big, it has a splash pad and it had the playground. Um and it had the stage, the way everything was centered. So not all the parts have that combo in the Henry County area to where it's a splash pad and a playground. And the particular part, the splash pad had been off for like 4 years. So
Oh, wow. Wait,
it's
how did you know it was even going to work?
I didn't.
Nayetta, can we just stop this, please? Just stop this
I
right
didn't know
now.
it was gonna
Oh, hold
work
on,
this
hold on.
year.
I mean, they say strong black woman for a reason. Nayetta,
And it just clicked like you
Miss
just said
Nayetta,
like I
you
did.
had a whole splash pad, and this actually sounds ridiculous.
Now that we're talking about it,
It
it
sounds
does.
ridiculous.
I, I told you nothing but God.
Right?
So
Well, now
it,
I believe you. Because how the the splash pad part is actually, that sounds absurd to me because it could have just been out of service. If it hadn't been turned on for 4 years, first of all, what's up with the city that they don't turn this on? The kids don't deserve cold water.
it was
I
a
don't get it
minor
for real.
it was a minor issue. We had just got a new mayor. And she was adamant about meeting the community needs. And a lot of moms were pushing for, hey, because it was new, it was brand new. And it worked for like a couple of months the first year, and then that was it. So a lot of moms were adamant, like, hey, we got a new mayor, somebody that's trying to listen to us. So you want to listen to us? Here's our problem. Like this splash pad is brand new and we've only used it like 2 months. And there's new
Yeah.
subdivisions. The city is growing. So I want to say about March, like 1 or 2 meetings about the splash pad. I was looking at the city because they have monthly meetings. I was looking at the notes and stuff like that prior to me even planning this event, just
Yeah.
to see, the splash pad being open or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, but I knew it was a push for this particular part to come back to life because it's a huge part. It has 3 football fields, it has a hockey rink, and then it has a fire station next door to it. And we did an event at the fire station, so I was just really adamant about that park.
Nayetta, um, do you have the keys to the city? Because no, and you know what? You're leaving the area, but you are doing something so big. And it actually, just even you saying you're looking at the notes of what was happening with the splash pad months before the idea even came, just shows the mindset of a mom with young babies at home is so different because who has the time, right? And then
Yeah.
even you just kind of, because even paying attention to like the meetings that they're having, you're it's on the docket. All right, let me follow it up. It's a lot of, girl, you are, I said the word remarkable, like you really are remarkable in that sense, because a lot of moms, especially have three babies at home, that's taking away a lot of time from what you could be doing. You are teaching them because they're not only stay at home, like they're homeschooled.
Yes. Last year they wasn't. This year they are. Yes.
Right, right, because that was in our previous interview. So if anyone's looking about the previous interview or interested in the previous interview, we talked about, even your son asking to be homeschooled.
Yeah.
Um, and like that is such a conscious decision. And that's just to show how much you are pouring into your kids, that your kids can make, excuse me, sorry, those type of decisions, right? Like consciously say, I don't think this is for me. I think I'll probably get more out of being home with you teaching, right?
Yeah.
But so
Mhm.
much so that you are paying attention to what's happening, as you should, right?
Yes.
Following the docket, so everything is actually coming in alignment. So did the
It
splash
was.
pad, so, oh, I said everything's coming into alignment.
No,
So
I said it was. It
oh,
was. And
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
understand it.
Well, you said it. And so was the splash pad actually working prior to your event?
Yes, so it
Okay,
started. Sorry, my camera's moving.
that's
It
okay.
started working. Most of the splash pads and things like that open Memorial Day weekend.
Okay,
So I knew before, and I was visiting the park like every day, checking things out. Because at that time when the new mayor came in, unfortunately, a lot of people didn't like that it was a female black mayor, so a lot of the staff left, including I want to say the director of Parks and Recreation. So she was having a hard time keeping the parks clean, getting the trash out because her staff had just up and left.
right,
So I was at the park every day just looking to making sure the grass was going to get cut. Like I didn't know if the grass would be cut by the time the event happened because the event was on Sunday and parks and recreation public works, they don't work on a weekend, but they
right.
have been so behind what because they quit in January. She got in office in January. And so the event was in May. So by the time May came, she had a system in place, but they were still playing catch up. So yeah.
You had a lot of shit. Use my French. You had a lot stacked up against you. I,
But the good
you have me in okay, this is in shock, and what I'll need from you, Nayetta, is
yeah.
footage and pictures, so we can
Okay.
put perspective for everyone watching this, because this
Okay.
is a woman with an idea and some serious determination within 30 days. Within 30 days. Um, did they give you, like, an award or something afterwards? Okay,
No.
actually, hold on, hold on. Just because you had about 1,000 people registered, approximately, how many
I
people
had it was 1,300 people registered last year. I want to say about I was running around with like a chicken with the head cut off. I would say last year about 500 to 600 people in and out.
how long, what were the hours? Like, how long did it go
It
for?
was from I want to say 11 to 5.
So, Nayetta, people have, what's it called? Circuses that come into town. They set them up in, like, the mini mall strips, right?
Mhm.
Um, and they do, like, little carnivals and things like that, or you see pop-ups like this that come up. They have teams. No, no, seriously.
I did not know you was headed that way.
Did you know that? They have teams, and usually something like this, I would imagine, takes months to plan, because, they're gonna wanna make sure they get their permits first. They
Yeah.
will things that you mentioned, security, and even to get security, even to get permits, to get a
Mhm.
liquor license takes time. right? No, if you want to have an event, you want to have a party, it takes at least 30 days, you
It
know,
does.
right?
Well, you can exclude if you exclude the liquor, it can move a little bit faster. But yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, the process to get things done usually takes more than 30 days. And there's usually like a team. I don't care if it's more, there's more than one. That's where we'll go. There's more,
yeah,
there's
you're
more
right.
than one. So I commend you on that. So now you've decided to do this again for year two. Oh, wait. Before you decide, how is your family support from year one after the event? Or
So
go, no. Let's give a real picture. Hubs, I'm thinking about doing this 30 days. And then in the midst of the 30 days, because now if you're running with a chicken, like a chicken with the head cut off, he's seen it. And that means he's doing some running too. And then post. So what does that conversation look like? Before?
So he didn't see it before because he was in North Carolina and we were still in Georgia.
Okay.
So he only saw it when it happened. The date of the event is when
Okay.
he helped and saw things. So he set up tents, helped me put up banners, clean up the park, stuff like that. So as soon as we got in the car after the event, he said, "We have to do this again next year. Like, this was amazing. We have to do this again next year."
Oh, wow.
So when next year came around and he sees the back end of it, he's like, "This is a lot." Like, I
Wait,
wonder if
wait,
he asked.
wait,
Oh,
wait, 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 wait. Okay. So Hubs is on board. Do you have anybody else supporting you through
yeah.
this?
So it's just my family. And the kids too. So that's the fun part about having a kid business. My kids support the business. They're in the business. They have fun doing it. So like going to the park every day to check on the park, they're at the splash pad and the playground as well as mommy is checking on the park.
Yeah.
So
So it's fun for them.
it is. It
Mhm,
is. And then they love helping other kids or people in general. So in
mhm.
their mind, it's like, okay, mommy's having this big event. We can participate, but we can also help these little kids because they love little kids as well.
Right.
Um, but it's my brother, my dad, and my husband, and my kids and my niece. My niece is
Wow.
10. Yeah, so it's just my family and my close friends. My close friends. I have 3 close friends that help out. 2 last year and 2 this year.
You were really serious about play-based learning because you are teaching your kids so much. So even just in what you said, like they like to help people, they like to help kids. Yes, they're playing in the park as well, but they're actually seeing at a very, very young age entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And they're seeing it on a massive scale, and you actually just taught them what a strong Black independent woman looks like. You can't even get away from the cliche because you just showed them what man.
They definitely have the entrepreneur bug, for sure, especially my daughter. I always say my son made me a mom and she made me a role model because she watches everything I do.
Mhm.
Everything I do. Like you
Kids
see, she decorated my bookshelf because that's her picture, that's her horse that she painted.
that's her horse? The pink one is her horse?
A unicorn.
No, she
Uh,
painted that. That's beautiful.
yes. So she did it with like red and then she went in with the glitter on top of it. But yes.
Okay, because when it's up there, it looks, fluorescent.
Yeah, the glitter. It's a glitter
Yeah,
paint thing that she went over with it. Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Anyhow, you have me so Nayad, I was telling you before for I think maybe the last 3 weeks. I've been saying, Nayad, I just want you to know. I was probably getting annoying. Nayada, how you feeling this week? Okay, this is just your friendly weekly reminder that you are amazing.
You have. You have.
Because
Yeah.
I look
Go ahead.
no, go, you go.
I was gonna say it was a lot more this year than last year. I felt like the more time I had this year, the more I started to think about it and the doubt set in. And maybe it was harder because I did it from North Carolina this year, with it still being in Georgia. So that was a lot, as far as the traveling. And my family didn't enjoy it as much this year. It was like, Mommy, you're always doing something. Even though they were with me, it was still like, okay, hold on, let Mommy hurry up and send this email. Or we're going to a family dinner and I'm making calls in the car about sponsorship and stuff like that. So it was very different this year
Right.
for everyone.
Well, one, now they're actually, even though the kids were helping before, excuse me, sorry, now everyone's actually seeing the back end. And
Yeah,
yet, you not being in the same space, it's like you're not able to do some of the other things that you were doing, right? Like go there every day, right?
right. And then they enjoyed going there every day because they could go once it got closer after Memorial Day weekend, they could go to the splash pad or they could go to the playground and stuff like that. And here we're not necessarily going to the park every day. It's Mommy getting on the phone or having to run to Atlanta and things like that.
Right, right. So it looks different for the from the family dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get into year number 2, right?
Yeah. Yes.
From a planning standpoint, when did you start planning? Because yeah, I'll just let you answer that question.
I started planning in March behind the scenes, but I really didn't take action until mid-April. I started promoting and planning in March. I took action mid-April, but things didn't really start to take off until May.
What is up with this last minute ish?
Like last minute ish, like I am at the event starts at 11, I'm setting up and I'm getting phone calls and DMs at 9:30 and 10 o'clock asking if they can still be vendors. That's how last minute it was this year.
I've seen an event. Your event was it last week? Well, today's the 17th.
June 9th.
It was June 9th. Yeah, that's not. Was that a week? Was that 2 weeks ago? Oh, it was 2 weeks. No, that was last week. That was last week Sunday.
They're
Yeah.
running together for me.
Yeah. It was last week Sunday. I seen an event last week, whenever, last weekend as well, like locally. And I hesitated to get tickets. And I knew I wanted to go. I don't know why I hesitated to get tickets. And I was laying in my bed the morning of the event. And I had been telling people I'm going to this event. And I opened my phone to get tickets on Eventbrite the morning of the event. And it asked me for my credit card. And on my computer, it has my credit card already saved to just add some more details. But on my
Yeah.
phone, I'm like, I don't know my card off the top of my head. So, okay, I'll go downstairs. It said I had 2 hours, 2 more hours, and ticket sales would stop. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna just go downstairs in an hour and 45 minutes. So I'm still laying in my bed.
You still at the day of the event and you
That
like,
was
okay.
the day of the event. I was like, I'm not ready to get out of my bed yet. I will go downstairs in a bit. I got 2 hours I could still put on my sleep app and get a little deeper sleep. And
It's an
then I
hour
thought, let
now.
me, say it again.
It's an hour now.
No, my sleep app is 26 minutes. It puts me in the
Oh, okay.
deepest REM, right? It puts me in my deepest REM. Now, if I have to run it, because sometimes there's a sound within the first 3 minutes that gets you tired. And if it doesn't get me tired enough, I pull it back. So if I'm not
Okay.
yawning, right? If the frequency is not hitting my brain, I kind of run it back a bit. So, it could take about 35 minutes before I actually get in this deep sleep. And then I wake up with the sound of birds. Okay. It's a great
Okay.
nap. It's the best nap. And I thought, let me look at because I didn't realize there's 2 portions of the event. So I thought, let me look at the girl's Instagram to see what's happening. And she wrote in her story, all these last minute people. Actually, I think I went to sleep first and didn't look at her Instagram. But I think when I woke up is what one of those times I looked and I saw that comment and I was thinking, well, I guess because the ticket sales had stopped. It was about 10 minutes before it was supposed to stop, and I went on the thing to buy. They had stopped. And I was like, well, do they know what 2 hours means? Because it's not 2 hours.
She probably had been promoting for 30 days.
Probably longer, because I met her 2 months ago.
See, I get the last minute part because I'm not gonna lie. I do that sometimes, especially when it's dealing with the kids. So as an attendee, that's different from you being a vendor and waiting till the very last day, because as a vendor, and then that was the downside. Like, people look at it as, oh, this is just one person in a small team, so she'll let anything fly. And I don't. Like, I'm organized. So somebody calling me the day of the event or even the 2 to 3 days before the event asking to be a vendor, I've already had my layout set. And then by me coming from out of town, I really can't squeeze anyone in. And then I know you call, you ask for a spot, I tell you the price.
Huh? Go on.
Okay.
This is the juice.
You call, I tell you, okay, whatever, because I'm over it at this point. Just show up if you want to. But there's a price, because it's not fair to the other vendors that paid well in advance. So there's a price. It's probably a little bit higher price just because I'm being fair to my other vendors. You say, okay, I'm going to call you back, or I'll text you later. Mind you, it's an hour before the event starts. So
there is
like
no text later. I have no time for you later. And my response would be, sorry, we will be in full mode. I mean, getting a response an hour before the morning of, oh, let me not say that, because I was contemplating messaging her at the lunch.
To be a vendor?
No, to attend.
No, so that's what I'm saying. This is to be a vendor. Attendees, that's cool.
We don't
Because I
have
already
time for
got
that, because vendors need to bring tables. They need to set up banners. And we are not a ghetto event where you are doing this in the
advertising. I'm advertising you. I'm betting to see if you are a kid business and if you even fit my aesthetics, so to speak, because I don't allow the same vendors at the event. You can only be set, like, I'm not going to have 2 candle events. I'm not going to have 2 icy events. Like, I meant 2 vendors. So like that part goes into it as well. So,
and you do not have the morning of, first of all, let's remember you're still a mom. So there's already
at the park with my husband already.
And because you're there hours before setting up and making sure everything's good. It's not like an event space where you can set up the day before, right? You're setting up the morning of, and your event starts at 11. So you're probably down there at like 7.
This time, so last year we did get down there early. I did things a little bit different this time because it was a lot on my husband and my brother putting up all the tents, chairs, and all that stuff. So I outsourced that stuff this year. So we got to the park about 8:30, but that's still, super early because we got there 8:30. We didn't leave the park until 5:30. And you're talking about us moving, being in the heat and all that stuff. Like, my body usually takes about 2 days to recover from Summer Fun Fest. And then my husband having to fly out Sunday to come back to North Carolina to go to work.
Oh, man. So are you doing this next year? Or is that still up in the air?
So I kind of want to, but my husband said we'll talk about it in 30 days.
At least he knows he needs 30 days. Yeah.
He's like, give me 30 days to think about it, because right now it's a no. And my kids, they want to do it. Like, they helped out so much this year. And then Miss Cynthia, Sports Sense, with our accountability group, she came down to work the welcome table. So when I was in it, I was like, I want this to be done. I'm not doing it again, yada, yada, yada. But after the event, looking back at it, like, okay, you made an improvement, girl. Like you outsourced to where you
Yeah.
just had to put up the banner and the balloons. You didn't have to put up all those tenant chairs. You
Yeah.
didn't have the bounce house. So the bounce house cost so many issues. So I didn't have to pay for insurance for
Right.
the bounce house. And then I didn't have the big kids running over the little kids this year,
Mhm.
which is a natural thing that happens. So I separated so the little kids had their own time and the big kids had their own time. I didn't
Mhm.
have the bounce house almost colliding because it was so many kids in it and the parents not watching their kids. I had
Mm.
sponsors this year. Thank you, Blackprint.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. But wait a minute. Do you have volunteers?
No,
Okay, so
besides Sports Sense.
I think that the remarkable thing about this is like the learnings, because you can just make this better and better and better and better. And
Which
you
is
can
why I don't want to stop.
yeah, and you can just grow. And now this becomes one of your signature things that
Mhm.
people know you for. And it's crazy that what your signature thing is so grand.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even think you can stop. I think you just need, I mean, you can stop anything you want to stop. Pressure.
My dad was like, tell my husband and my brother that they're the
Bring
muscle
him on the
behind.
phone. Bring him on the call. Wake up, baby. Come, boo. We got to talk. I
They're the
think,
muscle behind it.
yeah, but you know what? Then it means that you need to sit down and go through the dynamics, because I think I know a little bit more because we're accountability sisters, but like, um, you need a team,
Mhm.
right? You need a team. And if they are behind the scenes, you got to bring them into the planning, because do you give them a feedback form afterwards? Did they do a survey yet?
Who, my husband and my brother?
Yes. Yes.
They give the unwanted feedback. They
Yeah,
give
but
it.
when you're going through it, you're going to get more of the negative feedback. But after a little bit of time, they can actually sit down. You should do a call with them and just sit down, do a conference call, bring them into the business, do a conference call and say, let's tell them before, bring the good points and the bad points, right? And the things that could improve,
So
right?
they tell that's what I mean by the unwanted feedback. I don't have to ask them for feedback. They're gonna give it to me.
But
So
are
my
they giving
brother
the good feedback too?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
They
Okay.
don't just give bad. They give the good, the bad, and improvements. Like cause I'm still running around during the event and like they're like I appreciate them and I love them because they're doing things without me asking. Like this year I would look around and I see my husband picking up some trash. I look around, see him checking on the bathrooms or fixing a balloon or something. Like or see him
Mhm.
engaging in the activities with the kids. So I love seeing that. So they're in the planning a little bit, but I'm really the brains behind it. And it's probably because I'm always surrounded by guys. Like I'm the only girl in my family. I was raised by a single dad. So it's pretty much like, well, this is what she wants, so we just gonna do it.
Nayetta, every time I'm on a call with you, I learn so much more about you. It's true. It doesn't matter what, every time I'm on a call with you, and it's not our working calls because we talk every single day.
Yeah.
But like we get on these calls and I learn so much more about you. I just learned the reason you're such an amazing mom is because you were raised by a single dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, you don't even know that I'm really holding back my tears right now.
Don't,
You know I'm a
don't,
crier, Nayetta. You know I am a crier.
don't,
You
don't.
I am trying. You are remarkable.
That is the driver behind me being an amazing mom.
I know, because I have a similar situation. Like I know.
Don't crash the ring.
I'm trying, but it's
Okay.
all it's a little too late. You got me in tears, Nayetta. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so, so proud of you.
Thank you.
Um,
You're not gonna have me crying on this podcast.
Girl, you got me crying on my own. our kids, our babies deserve. I'm a mom first. I'm more than just a mom. We'll start there, but I am a mom first, and our babies just deserve the best of us.
They do, and your kids are getting the best. I mean, you have grown kids, and I still say kids because you're paving a blueprint of breaking that cycle of kicking your kids out the house at 18. Like you're giving them that space to figure it out. And Shireen, I love that. I love that. Like you're so patient with them because we weren't taught to like be patient with a 20-year-old or 23-year-old. Like even when we're in accountability, I'm like, you taking too much, but I'm still learning from it. Like you need to have that patience and that grace because they're different generation and they're trying to figure it out. So be a little bit patient with them. Like I'm patient with the kids under 5. After that, I don't know.
It took time to get here because I was a kid raising a kid, right? So
Mhm.
when we got to when we hit preteens, um, I would say, if we don't start getting really close right now, in a couple of years, we're gonna have problems. And I, she ain't gonna watch this episode. I will call. I don't think she listened to my episodes, honey. She ain't gonna hear my smack.
Yeah.
She might catch a clip or two, but that's about as long as I don't catch a clip or two. She I was gonna say I used to call her when I was growing up, they had this show. I don't know if they had it in the States. I think they only had it in Canada. The after school special. You
Yeah, I
guys
don't know that.
listen. They be trying to teach us things on on this television. So on the after school special, it was always some kid. It was always a story about a kid, and it was always some kid getting in trouble. They
Okay.
did something, and then there was a lesson to be learned. So I would be like, listen, this is my daughter's my after school special child. That's my after school special child. We're gonna learn something.
Listen to be learned.
Someone's gonna go through some shit. Mhm. So it was not always. I was not patient, um,
I mean,
and
it can't be perfect, so
very far from it. Like straight cuss out matches, and not her cussing. Like drapesing up, a good drapes
Mm,
up. So and a lot of actually yelling matches, a lot of yelling
mm,
matches. And I didn't it took it felt like forever. And then I'd feel bad because my son would end up crying because he's younger, so he would cry because mom and sister are going at it,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And I grew up in the time. We grew up in the time is like you respect your elders, and basically what I say is
Go.
is gold, right? Right. And if you have an opinion, you don't. Like you do, but you don't.
To yourself.
Yeah, like there's a lot of ways that we were raised that needs to be let go, right?
Mhm,
So I'm fighting with myself between what I know and what I believe I should be doing, how I'm feeling, how she's feeling. And so it was not an easy, and then I know my son's over here like crying.
mhm.
And for me, um, I don't even back down, right? So
Yeah,
it took a long
that
time.
says a lot.
Say it again.
I said that says a lot,
Yeah, I don't even back down, right? So
and she probably doesn't either.
I swear a week ago I said, "Tell me I'm raising myself." Oh, this is a joke? This is what you consider funny? You giving me mini me?
Yeah.
But now we're so in sync, to a degree.
Mhm.
We have like a few different thoughts on things, but it's cool, whatever. But we're so aligned. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, yeah, Nayetta, like you're doing the most.
Uh, that's usually what I'm told.
But I take doing the most like it's a positive thing because it typically comes with like a negative connotation. Um,
Hmm.
you're doing the most in the most positive way to really give these babies an experience. And it's not just your babies, like you are truly the mom playologist, truly.
I want all the kids to play. Let me show you how to teach your kids to play. And it's crazy because this year, I was moving around, but I was able to talk to the parents a little bit more. And one mom was like, I appreciate you this because it's like, what do I teach my child at 2 and 3? Um, I was like, teach them things like, jumping with 2 feet and stuff like that. She was like, how do you even teach a child to jump? And I'm like, oh my God, like this is something that's needed because it's not rocket science. But some people, they just need that extra assurance that it's simpler than we think.
Were you given a lot of space to play as a child?
No, oh my God, no.
Really?
I do not parent how I teach. I was not parent, so I was
Oh,
not
you were
parent.
not
So I
parented.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't raised the way that I raised my kids, teach my kids, talk to my kids. I was raised nowhere near how I live or how my kids live.
But that it's usually like either we had it and that's what keeps it going, or it was on the complete opposite extreme. So we do the opposite of what we how we were raised, right?
Yes,
The
that's
reason
me.
yeah, the reason I asked is because like I played a lot. I still play a lot.
But I love that. Look at you. You're a boss. You have your own studio. You set your own hours. You were before this, you were in a set career for how many plus years? So, and
Mhm.
you're very creative. You're outspoken. Kids that don't play aren't like that. Like it took me 30 years to find my voice. Like I'm just now finding what I like to do and my passion, which is, helping other kids. Like it's always been there, but I wasn't told like this is something that you can do on your own, or I wasn't given the confidence because confidence is, giving, it's nurtured. Um, that wasn't in my household at all.
I love that you are also giving that to not only your babies, but you're giving it to the parents.
Mhm.
And when you give that to the parents, they give it back to their babies.
Yes, because some of my past clients, it was just knowing that everything is not like the IG mom type thing because there's so many different ways that parents are being pressured, especially moms. Like you have to have it all together. You don't. You
Mhm.
don't have to. You're not perfect.
Yeah.
You're human too. You bleed too.
Yeah.
Yes, you have this cape in the closet, but I try to make everything relatable and let them understand. Like, yes, my kids play and they do this and they can do all this stuff, but they are chaotic too. I always talk about my baby floor in the kitchen, or like my when my older kid used to get in trouble at school. Those things are gonna happen regardless
Yeah.
of the type of parent that you are. People just don't show that side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot, you're right. People don't show that side of it. And a lot of parents always say, oh, like they blame it on the friends. It's always It's always the friends. Well, if your friends take you astray, the friends always took, and I have been like, it's mine.
It's
Well,
it's
then we the
mine.
friend.
If you tell me, and that's also where play comes into play because it's being in tune with your child. So if someone tells me a particular thing that one of my kids did, I
Mhm,
know that they probably did it because I'm in tune and they did it with me probably several times. And
mhm.
honestly, my kids, um they're not bad, but my kids are their true, authentic self with me in this house. So we're
Mhm.
always nervous for other people to watch our kids, even family.
You don't know what they're gonna do.
But they look at us like we're crazy. Like, these kids listen, they clean up behind themselves. I don't
Mhm.
have no problems. But when I see them with y'all, I get scared. But no
Yeah.
one has no issue with our kids but us.
Well, because they know they can be even more free. But I think it's again, it just goes to the parenting. I don't even know how you are so patient. Like you're talking about me. I listen to you be patient, and I'm like, there would be a lot of noise going on.
I mean, because I grew up with the so it's three of us as well, two boys, and I'm the only girl. And I grew up seeing the beatings, the yelling, the cussing. It stopped nothing. It solved nothing. Like, you're just gonna keep going in this cycle. Like, I'm gonna beat you to go to school. My big brother still didn't go to school, so what was the point? You're
Yeah,
gonna stop yell at me and cuss at me for speaking my mind. I still speak my mind.
yeah, yeah,
My little brother, he was so confused. He would get yelled at and cussed at because he asked questions. He's still a very curious person. So it's
yeah,
like, why lose my shit when it's not gonna solve anything, because it's probably just their personality at the end of the day. Like, Dia is just my baby personality.
yeah. And I think it's a good thing because one, kids should be curious. We actually said this in our last episode that we need to nurture that curiosity, right?
Hmm.
And still, yeah, they should absolutely stay curious. It's funny because sometimes my daughter will say, "Oh, it's because I'm asking a lot of questions." Questions make adults feel uncomfortable when they
Hmm.
don't know the answer, right?
Hmm.
Um, and like she will say that, and I'm like, no, it's not because you're asking questions, because I'm curious,
We
and
need to figure this out together.
I'm very curious. So I might be having a different perspective of whatever the situation is, but um, it's about the parents being vulnerable and knowing that it's okay if they don't have the answers.
Yep.
They don't have to know it all, right?
Well, you're not supposed to, and that's the, like, people portray parenting to be perfect. It's not perfect. If parenting is perfect and it looks like all like neat and clean and white, then that your kid's not having a good childhood. There is going to be some traumatic events they're going to talk about in therapy when they're older.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. But
the
I
same.
also think that if they explain to the child, look, I don't have all the answers, because the kids do look to them for all the answers. So,
They do, but it's just like when you're if you're in college and you're writing a research paper, you have to go figure it out. So that's what me and my kids do. Like, I
mm,
get asked the craziest questions. Where does the color white come from? Do spiders
oh,
go to do spiders go to hell? I don't know, but we can go figure it out. We can go look in the book, or we can Google it. Which one you want to do? We can even ask Alexa sometimes. But
mm,
we go figure it out together.
right. And it's that thought process that we can figure it out together. And
Mhm.
that I don't think, girl, you should put that on a shirt.
What
We can figure it out together. I
we
want
can figure it
30%.
out together.
Mhm. I just told you to put on a shirt. Listen, you know how it goes. I'm sure you've heard clips of me. I would like 30%. I'm going to do one clip that just watches me tell everybody that I want 30%. I need
30%.
I'm going to need 30%. But you can put that on a shirt.
But yeah, that's what we do. I mean, that goes to fostering a love for learning, because they're curious. So if you shut that down, then you don't have the innovative adults like the Steve Jobs, like the
Mhm.
Elon Musk and stuff like that. So
Okay. So top lessons that you've learned from this year or the last 2 years about the Summer Fun Fest.
lessons that I've learned. People are gonna be unappreciative regardless of what you do.
Shoot.
Um, people are not gonna understand the end goal, so don't even get upset about it.
Mm.
Um, People don't have to support you just because you're doing a good cause, and people won't support you just because you're doing a good cause. Um, so many lessons. One of the biggest lessons is people will surround themselves with you just to imitate you, um, to try to do what you do. Um, and sometimes you're the first person to do it, and it doesn't mean that you have to be the last person to do it. It's okay to start something and let it go so that somebody else can do it bigger and better.
Ooh, that's a true trailblazer. It
Yeah.
is. That's a true trailblazer because that's an innovator and that's a trailblazer. And it's funny because the question was like what you learned, and I was thinking specifically for the Summer Fun Fest, but everything that you mentioned is entrepreneurship.
Oh, well, that was all Summer Fun Fest this year, so I learned a lot as entrepreneurship.
No, but all your responses could be applied to any entrepreneur venture.
It could. It could.
Right? All your responses and any venture when you're doing something. It doesn't have to be entrepreneurship. You could be whatever, but you're doing something and somebody will be like, I want to do that and I can do it better. And
hmm
you can be okay with letting that go
hmm
and moving
I
on and
mean,
let.
they could, and you have to be mature enough to like understand that it's not competition.
Mhm.
Because like Henry County right now, I didn't get as much support this year as I did last year because they're doing their own summer. They call it Hot Summer Fest, and they're doing it at this whole motor speedway place. It's free, which they usually don't do free events for families. They're having fireworks. They have all these big sponsors and things like that. So at first, I did feel some type of way, but it was more so of just instead of ghosting me and not partnering with me this year, just tell me so I don't waste my resources. I just join in with what you got going on because the end goal was not for me to say that I had another event. The end goal was to continue to provide something for these kids to do for free because it's so many different resources to where we come together, we can provide for these families for free because they're already going through so much. Middle class to me are the ones that suffer the most. They don't get food stamps and Section 8 and stuff like that, and they're not getting all the tax breaks. They're just in the middle trying to make it by, little means that we do have. So that's where my thought process is on that one. Like it's not competition. The end goal is for the kids. So if that means I move out the way, then I move out the way.
And sorry, is that happening in the same area where you did it before or where you just.
It's in Henry County. So in Henry County, there wasn't like they have a whole bunch of concerts, R&B concerts and stuff like that. So this is the first year that they're having the Summer Fun Fest, and it's in Henry County, but it's not in McDonough. But they're doing it at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, so it's still within the Henry County area.
Yeah, wouldn't it have made sense to just like partner with you to have you brought it up?
It would. It would have made sense to partner. It would have made sense to say, hey, I see you're doing this event. We're doing something like this at the end of summer. We have more resources. Would you just like to be a vendor? Like even I don't have to come to the table with ideas or be the brains and actually have a partnership. I could be
Mhm.
a vendor and still bring to the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for me that would have made sense, and that was probably my biggest upset because it's like I said, it's just me and my family. So if I don't have enough sponsors, that money is coming out of my pocket, and I still want to provide to the community. But
Mhm.
you have resources on resources on resources, like you have the county and tax resources,
Yeah.
and the taxpayers' money, which is my part too, because I live in North Carolina, but I still own property in Henry County, so I'm still paying taxes in Henry County.
Mhm.
Um, so I would have just that was probably I would have preferred to say, hey, we're doing something like this. Do you want to just not do your event? Of course. Let me join with y'all with the masses. I promote the mess out of this event and I still promote it.
Yeah. Um, It's a shame because there's opportunity, as you're saying, to like work together and make it better, but also just like get learnings from you as well, right?
Yep,
Get learnings from you on, hey, this is what we did, this is what we did. And even I feel like, do you think that you could have been an inspiration to their event?
I know I was.
Hmm.
I can confidently say I know I was.
So then they should have just gave you your flowers.
They don't need to. They
No,
don't need to.
it's not about if they need to. It's what they should have done. And it's fine that it didn't, because like you said, it you're learning from this, right? You're learning from this and you can decide, okay, do I take this and do it differently? Do I let it go? Like you are learning from this. And I think, I think maybe for you, it's like, what do you pull from that experience on the positive side of things? Like, is there somebody else I can partner with in the future and we do it somewhere else?
So that's
Um,
my goal. My
yeah.
goal is to do it next year. My goal is to do it in the community that I grew up in.
Okay.
It's called Kirkwood. It's a part of Atlanta. But that's my goal is to do it at the park that I grew up at. So that park is nice. It has a playground. They've cleaned it up. Nice basketball court. When we was growing up, you had the little grass areas to play football. We didn't have a nice playground there or anything like that, but it was nothing to do. So I used to always walk to the we actually weren't allowed to go to the park that often because it was a lot of activity,
The different
um
activity.
different activity,
It
um
was higher up on the food chain of activity.
way higher. So I would walk to the library because in the hood no one's at the library unless they probably need to use a computer and have computer. I would walk to the library. I couldn't walk past the library because, like I said, I couldn't go to the park. But my brother played football at that park. Started his football career at that park. And it's the park in our neighborhood, so that's the park I plan to do it next year.
Oh, so it is happening next year.
In my mind, we'll see.
Okay, and then from a financial benefit, sponsorship. How is sponsorship like a major um objective for next year's initiative?
It is because that was
But
one of
on a
the
grander scale, not like, yes, you can accept, like I was a sponsor, accountability sisters were sponsors, but on a grander scale, would that help change the look of the event, the
not
outcome?
not necessarily, and that's probably the weird part because a lot of organizations way bigger than me
Mm,
will not do an event if they don't have enough sponsors or if they don't have enough funds coming in. For me,
mm,
the event's gonna happen regardless. So
mm.
the look of it wouldn't necessarily change. The marketing of it may change, but not necessarily the look because I've set it up to make it simple. So the vendors may not
Mhm.
be small businesses, they may be like big organizations, but I don't see the look changing because the idea was to keep it simple so that parents know that they can do it at home. Like we had shaving cream activities, we had bubble play, big bubble play across the whole park, like the little magic show, just simple things, slime, making slime stations. So the simple things to show parents the things that they can do at home. So I would say we probably would have longer hours,
Yeah,
but it wouldn't change. It's
more
by the grace of God. It's we've been doing it by ourselves, without big sponsorships. Like you all were a blessing this year because I was able to do more marketing, do better outsourcing with the tents and things like that to make the aesthetics better. But the parents, but kid wise, activity wise, they will tell you they would not change a thing.
Okay, Nayetta, just listening to some of the activities that you mentioned, it kind of reminds me of like, I played, like I said, I played a lot. But I also went to I did. I played a lot. But I went to Parks and Recs a
Mhm.
lot throughout the summer, and it reminds me of um, Parks and Recs, where you're just learning a bunch of science activities or crafting activities. Could you package this up and sell it, Nayada?
So possibly, here in Charlotte, they already do that. They do all of that and even more.
Right.
In the county, they wasn't doing it when I went to Parks and Recs to try to do it. It was so much like
Red
it.
tape.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That was that. I will give them credit. That was 2 years ago. So maybe they've gotten together to where they see because they are doing different things now. Like you have a lot of businesses in that area that started because there was nothing going on with Parks and Recs. So now that there is something going on with Parks and Recs, you do have a lot of people that are going out of business or struggling because they're now doing something and their business was created for like STEAM summer camps and stuff like that. They're
Mhm.
just now doing that. So I don't know if I would package it up. Cause you know how I am, but for your audience, it's not necessarily a package it up and sell it thing for me. It's to just like how can we reach as many kids as possible?
But I actually think you could package it up and get it in the school boards as a fun day.
I could as a misfit. So that's the other thing. It's other states like New York is big on this. Like New York plays. They have a ton of play museums. They have a ton of misfits. Charlotte doesn't have a ton of play museums, but they have a ton of misfits. They have a ton of free events to get these parents out here because it's outside of um, educating the kids during the school year. It's outside of what they're doing at school. It starts at home and it'll end at home, and that determines what happens at school. So,
Yeah.
you have a lot of states that are doing it, but then you also have a lot of states that aren't doing it. Like
Mhm.
Georgia's not a big state on the family friendly thing. Florida's not that big of a state. South Florida is. So if you go Orlando to Miami, but the top of Florida is not. Missouri is not
Do you
Missouri,
hear
Minnesota.
yourself right now?
Huh?
Do you hear yourself right now?
What do you mean?
Do you hear how you are literally naming off all of the opportunity where you can sell this or get it into the school system or get it into, like, do you hear? I see a grander vision, but do you hear it right now? Like you're naming it, you're naming the place. You already know where it's happening and where it's not. So
But
you
see,
already know your target demographic. If you want to package this up, Miss Nayetta,
I received that, but I also know that if it's not happening there, more than likely it's for a reason.
I mean, it
So,
wasn't happening where you started, and now it's happening. And so sometimes the reason is just that trailblazer,
okay, I received that. I
right?
received that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's all you, girl. Sometimes it's just they need to see it.
I got that.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one for you. I'm gonna be annoying. Sometimes somebody just has to be able to pull off the freaking red tape.
That is true. That's definitely me. That's been me all my life. My daddy will tell you.
Mm-hmm. So
I was
there's
known as the
definitely
difficult one.
opportunity. Sorry, say it again.
I said I was always known as the difficult one.
The diff
Never, never follow the rules.
you know that's what I love. Rules what? My nickname has been Trouble. So
Yeah,
that was my grandmother. So um they just need someone to do things a little different. That's willing to do things a little differently. It doesn't matter what they want to name it. That's not necessarily what it is, because pulling off the red tape and not playing by the rules is how sometimes you find out new things, you identify new things, right? That's where innovation comes from. That's where idea comes from. That's living outside of this freaking box.
I was just gonna say outside the box. Yep.
Hmm. What box?
And
There's a line somewhere. There's a box.
And our culture doesn't, really play. Like, I'm amazed to hear that you play as a child because our culture doesn't really play. Like, if I try to encourage people, just, let them do this, let them make a mess, that's teaching them, they're like, oh, they're not learning it. They just playing. Like, they learn so much, so faster just from playing.
So, just to clarify, I played a lot. I did a lot of arts and crafts. My parents had me in all kinds of activities. We danced, we figure skated, we played piano at the convent with the nuns. That's where we learned. My brothers did taekwondo. In dance, I did ballet and jazz. I collected a lot of toilet paper rolls to make art with. I was always told that I'm keeping a lot of junk. Um, I played a lot, and Nayetta, I got the most amount of licks out of all the siblings. I got the most amount of licks. Um, yes. So with play, I I talked a lot. I was just talking to um my brother's getting married, and I was talking to his best friend's sister. And we're planning to go away in a month. And I said something to her, and she said, she's older than me, and she said, "You, oh, I think I told her I had a podcast. So yeah, you always like to talk." So the stamp is still on us, but uh, when
It
you play,
works.
it
It works
works.
as an adult. Like,
It works,
I'm
yeah.
I've changed my dad's life. I've changed my mom's life, my life, my kids. So the rule breaker worked, and not necessarily the rule breaker because you're not necessarily breaking
Free
rules.
spirit.
Going, and going against the norm, like
Mhm.
going against the norm, it works as an adult. Like, you're telling me no, let me figure this out. Let me show you that it's a yes somewhere.
Mhm. My brother and I had this thought, I don't know what to call it, when we were younger, and it was basically like, we're gonna get in trouble for this anyway, so
What do
we
you
might
have
as
to
well
lose?
have as much fun. No, like that was our like we used to be like, well, we're gonna get licks anyway, so we might as well have as much fun as possible. Because yeah, yeah,
We already in it now. We gonna get in trouble regardless. And it was so easy.
intentionally.
It was so easy to get in trouble back then. If you say the wrong thing, like my dad would come home like, okay, you're gonna get in trouble. Well, if I'm already in trouble for saying something, I might as well go ahead and do something too.
Right, right, yeah. So, honestly, I'm even in more awe of you, Nayetta. I think you should keep going in your own terms of whatever keep going looks like, because you are, and if you did not know, you are a trailblazer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and when self-doubt kicks in, just take a little bit of time and do some reflection, because your spirit is pulling you to play and raise your kids to play and show these parents it's okay,
Yeah.
right? And even showing them how. Even and it's funny because I remember my daughter was in a basketball program. One of the parents, I met her through basketball, but she would say sometimes, like, she had twins. She has twins, not had, she has twins. And she was starting a basketball camp. And I thought about her last week. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm just like her many, many years ago right now, where she was doing this camp for girls. So she was doing this camp, and she once said to me, her ex, the girl's dad, also does camp. And she once
Mhm.
said to me, not everybody knows how to teach. So when you
Mhm.
hear the parents that say, like, how do you do that? And you're like, "Oh, you just put on your rain boots and you jump in the puddle." But they're gonna get it yeah, but you just jump in the puddle. And when they see the splash of the water, and it's like, and then the mud comes up and it gets on their boots, they're rain boots, they're rubber. You can just wash them off with the hose.
You
But
can
it's
wash the kid off.
The whole kid goes in the bathtub. You're good. But she said it like some people do not know how to teach. And she gave this analogy of a layup, right? And so both my kids played ball. And so the layup was she was saying like her ex is really good at, I think he was really good at breaking it down better than she was. And so
Mm,
she would be like, well, why can't you do it? Because I just showed you how to do a layup, where he would be like, okay, you're going to go this way, or is it this way, right? So first we're just going to dribble. And then we're going to use our feet. We're not even dribbling. We're just going bam, 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 bam,
basics.
right? Bam, bam, bam. Okay, now we're going to stop. We're just going to do this. We're just going to do this. We're going to, now let's bring those 3 steps together. Let's
Yeah.
dribble. Now let's go bam, bam, bam. Let's dribble. Let's go bam, bam, bam. Let's dribble. Let's go bam, bam, bam. Up. Girl, you just put that ball on that backboard,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
when she said it, she's like, he is really good at breaking it down, where she will just be like, I just dribbled. So
Oh,
they need someone like she did it. And some people can learn from just seeing, and some people need that 3-step breakdown. And we
yeah.
need someone that can come in and show parents and kids the little 3 steps or the 4 steps to jump in the puddle,
Yeah, we do. Because
right?
they try to put a pencil in the kid's hand, and that's not the first step. So that's the encouragement I need to keep going.
Yeah. You have made me cry on this episode. You have convinced your son that he was getting pancakes, and I don't see no pancakes, nor did he come back and ask for pancakes.
He is laying right here, knocked
Oh,
out.
let me stop talking about the P word. You have done all of this out of pocket. What is the most rewarding thing? Like, this is going to be a message, and it's not to put pressure on you, but what is the most rewarding thing in the beginning of your ventures? Because even year 2 is still the beginning. So, what's the most rewarding thing of even making this investment? And it takes time to get that ROI back. But what's the most rewarding thing that comes out of making that investment, even with little? And I don't know what your return looks like, so I don't really care. What's the most rewarding thing, even with making the investment with little return financially?
Financially, I don't have any return.
Mhm,
But I mean, it goes back to what my husband asked, like, why are you doing all this?
mhm,
And I told him to see those kids' faces smiling and playing, and to see their parents' faces click, like, oh, it's that simple. Like, you see the light bulb go off. Like, I can do this at home. Like, for our bubble play, I hired a company to come out, and it was pricey, but it showed the parent that all it takes is a bucket, a wand, and some bubble solution for my kids to have the time of their life and talk about the event for months and months and months to come. Or like, oh my God, my kid is having so much fun in the shaving cream. Oh my God, my kid just started talking. They don't talk at home. Like, it's that's what I get from it. Like, I love connecting with the little people. Like, seeing their happy faces, just seeing them run around and be free. I love that.
mhm.
I love that.
And they get it really quickly too, the little ones.
They get it before the parents do.
Yeah, they do. They're really, really smart. They pick up on, they see what they're learning from it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mhm.
It's just the parents' job to listen. But that's what I love, to see those little people leading them on to the next activity, to what they want to do. And then like their parents like excited because they just did something new to the parents. But it's like, if you let them do it at home, then they'll do it all the time. They'll talk all the time if you give them something cool to talk about.
Mhm. Nayera, you are remarkable. If you're
Hey,
not doing classes, I would say do classes. If you have the energy, first rest, and try to plan out more than a month. Like, do more work and get a team, and but keep
we did
going.
it together.
Yeah, keep going with whatever that looks like for you. Keep being on that mission of showing parents the ease and the importance of play base. Putting on a summer fun fest is no easy task. And I went to a park fun fest this past weekend from one of my clients, and I know it wasn't on the scale of what you do. But when I walked in the park, I was like, oh, shoot. First of all, your video from last year is what made me go, oh my God, Nayetta is crazy. This is so good. And I walked in the park this weekend and I said, look at Nayetta. And Nayetta's doing it on a
Yes,
bigger
ma'am.
scale.
Yes,
Yeah, keep going, girl. And get
I
the
will.
support. Keep get the support that you need. But figure out if you're open to packaging it up so you can teach, as you say, because you're teaching the young ones, you're teaching the parents, but you can teach organizations as well. Um, and the ROI looks different, but keep being you because what you're doing is so, so important. And we appreciate you for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that because that's probably the opening paint early this morning. That's probably that's probably the best way to achieve the overall goal of reaching the kids is to package it up for other states and other organizations to do it in their town because I'm only one person.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know what we're going to be talking about in our next couple of calls. That's all I'm saying, Nayetta.
I hear it.
Thank you so much. Tell the people where to follow you, Nayetta.
So you can follow me on the Activity Playhouse on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. You can also check us out on www.theactivityplayhouse, and you can find different resources for your little ones. We have a blog with activity ideas. We have a Mommy and Me activity book. So we have all your needs to teaching your little ones at home before they start kindergarten.
I love it. I love it. Anything else? Is there what's coming up next for you?
A community, moms that play community. I want to bring us all together, no matter where we are in the world, to connect and just have a safe and fun, playful environment to talk about our little ones and their developmental goals, and just talk about the struggles. I need a judgment-free zone when I talk about my little one flooding the kitchen or something. So
I
I know
love
other
it.
moms.
You're not the only one. There's toilets being flooded. There's sinks being clogged. You're not the only one. There's fish going down toilets. These are the stories these moms need to hear so that they can feel validated. Because when they're crying, when the whole bathroom and everything's flooded, you're not the only one with poop on the floor.
Thank God. Thank God. No, I was laughing. She's in her face. She's laughing.
Well, they're not the only one. So moms deserve being a mom is not always easy. And moms deserve that validation, and there's a community for them. And
Yes.
sometimes it's so lonely, even though you have your husband and you have your babies. And that doesn't take away from the love. And sometimes you lose who you are, and that's going to be a different episode. But join the community, people, or tell a
Yes.
friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because you got a
Yes.
mom out there that needs the mom playologist.
Yes.
That needs the mom playologist. The Activity Playhouse is the best name out here because really you've given them all the activities that they can play in their house, outside of their house, and the moms as well can become playologists and feel confident with their baby. Nayetta, I
Yep.
love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too, Shireen.
I love you. I cannot wait to see you. I hope I see you in like 3 weeks.
Yes.
Because I will be like, Rhonda! I wasn't supposed to tell you. I probably won't even remember. You know me, I have so much in my head, I never remember. I love you so much, Nayetta. Thank you for gracing us with your time. Any last parting words?
No, I just appreciate you for always thinking of me and bringing me on your platform. I love how you pour into me. And I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, you have yourself a wonderful day and go make some pancakes.
Thank you. I will. And help with some painting as well. All right.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.